One of the really exciting features of PriceBoss 3.0 is what I call the analysis pack. You get 2 extra tabs that provide some really interesting analysis. So the first one is the realtor analysis, and the second one is the competitor analysis. We're going to look at the realtor analysis first. Now it's pulling all this data from Realtor.com. So you could bring in 336 comps very, very quickly in Realtor.com simply by copying and pasting a URL. But once that data gets in there, this tab will automatically be created, giving you insight into the realtors that are selling in the marketplace. If you want to sell through a realtor, you want to find a good realtor, this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to shrink the screen just a little bit so you can see all of it, and then maybe make it even bigger. There we go. I'm going to get rid of all of the extraneous stuff. All right. So what it's giving you is a list of all the realtors in that data set from Realtor.com, stack ranked by the number of ads that they've got, the average price of their ads, and the average acreage. And then it gives you a top 10 list. Now, in this particular data set, we've got quite a few where there's no agency, and that's what this big blue area is. So not all that useful to you, but this part, as soon as we get past that, is very useful. So we can see that Bankers Real Estate has 10.2%, Better Home and Garden has 9%, Realty One Group has 4.1%. And then you can look in there and say, okay, which realtor has the most ads of properties that are like mine, so that you can find a realtor that's actually doing business, buying and selling properties that are similar to the ones that you're trying to sell. Very, very useful. Nothing you have to do, just pull in the data from Realtor.com and this automatically gets created for you. The next tab is the competitor tab. Now this pulls from Lands of America. So while Realtor tends to have almost all realtor data tends to have realtor data because it's pulling from the MLS. Lands of America tends to have a lot of comps that are coming from other land investors so that we can get a good competitive analysis. So similarly, you don't have to do anything to create this tab. It just is automatically created simply by pulling in data from Lands of America into PriceBoss. And again, we can see who all the sellers are, stacked ranked by the number of ads they've got, the average price of their properties, the average acreage, and then we can also see what kind of subscription type they've got. So we can see, how much of a player they are. Are they signature? Are they premium? Or are they just a basic partner? And then over here, and on the right side, we've got this graph that shows you a really nice lay of the land of the competitive players. On the one axis, on the x-axis, we've got the average acres, so how many acres on average are they selling? And we've got their average price, so what price range are they playing in? The size of the circle represents how many ads they've got, so how big of a player they are. Now, in this data set, we've only got, let's see, we're showing average acres. Oh, so I've got some limitations up here. So you can filter your information. So I'm going to put low acres to, let's put 1,000 in here. And notice when you change the inputs into this table, it changes your graph as well too. So now I can see pretty much everything that's in the table. And I can see that there's a big grouping over here in that roughly 40-acre area. And I can also see that there's a big grouping here in the low end. And, something else is going on here in sort of that 10 to 20 acres. I only have one outlier here in the big stuff. And if I click on the graph, I can just hover over it and I can see, okay, this is Home on the Range Properties. They've got a 62.5 acre property for roughly $90,000. But if I want to play down in this end, if this is where most of my properties are, I can hone right into that. I can see that this is the largest one here is 3.6 acres. So what I'll do is I'll say low acres 0, high acres 5, and it'll just change the graph so I can just see who the players are in that limited area. Obviously the largest one is probably going to be no seller listed. That does happen. But I can also see all the others as well just by hovering over them. And where this is really useful is, let's just go up here to let's say up to 50 acres. And what I can see is that there's this big gap here from 20 acres up to, let's just say 36 acres. Now, it may happen that this lack of activity is because there is not a lot of land. There's not a lot of land there in that range. The other possibility is just nobody's playing in that range. So maybe that's an opportunity where you can go in and fill a gap. So very, very powerful to understand your market, both competitively and by who the realtors are in these two tabs. I hope you find them useful. Good luck.